Aiden, it's that time.
Yeah, we're back. Look, I gotta teach the little one.
It's shushy time.
Yeah, but I'm teaching.
Okay, well, teach quietly.
Okay, well, I'll try and teach English first.
I'm Amy, I'm living in Chrysalis, and my kid is still playing video games. And I'm oily and unusually pink for me. I don't know what is up with that, but I'm not crazy about it. Alright, well, I'll throw on a little bit of JOA pore deactivator. This is supposed to be pore minimizing and mattifying. I'm trying it out. But I'm doing this mostly because I don't want to use the one, I don't want to waste the one with sunscreen because I'm not going anywhere tonight. Alright, so I see one person in the chat. Hopefully they'll make themselves known. In the meantime, I'm going to hot up my tablet. Hi, Frida. An early arrival. Excellent. Okay. I'm not installing anything now. Install later. Fine. Sure. Okay. Fine. It wants to start things. It's annoying me. And I just want to go onto YouTube so I can monitor tonight's chat. I've been up to mischief, of course. So here we go. Ah! All right. I'll sit through my own ad. It's okay. Figure I might as well start working on my face while we're waiting for a few people to come in. I thought about just not doing makeup at all tonight, but I hit TJ Maxx and Marshalls. So, yeah. I've been up to mischief. Okay. Let me find well, I guess I'll just continue to use my old crappy foundation. So I can use it up on stuff I don't care about. Gosh, why is my face so dang red today? I don't get it. Me and my off-label stores. Girl, I'm balling on a budget, okay? Balling on a budget. No, besides, I figure at this point I'm not anywhere near the point where I can start getting, the newest stuff to review and try to work on getting my review up first. I'm nowhere near that stage, so why even try? I mean, once in a while I hit it. Like I did manage to do pretty well with my with my Too-Faced Christmas star video. There wasn't a lot out about that, but also probably because it was a limited edition and a lot of channels don't want to review limited edition stuff until they get quite big because, well, it's here and it's gone. But I did well with that one and a couple other items, so I figure by the time I can get anything anyway, even the new stuff, it's already going to have been done to death on YouTube. So I suppose really all I can do is just add my 2 cents after the fact. Okay. Brush, here we go, to buff it in. This is just an MLM foundation that I refuse to promote. And I don't think this particular formula exists anyway. It is a saturated niche. Unfortunately, it's what I like. That's the problem. At some point, maybe I'll do another channel that's more political, perhaps, but I'm just not at that point yet. Excuse me. Yo, I said be quiet.
I am being quiet.
Be quieter.
Yeah, but I gotta teach.
Be quieter.
I am teaching quiet. This is as quietly as I'm capable of being.
Well, try harder. Oh, and switch the laundry over, please.
I already did.
Really? I heard it beeping.
Yeah, and then I did it because I heard it beeping too.
Okay, well, I missed that. All right, fine. Yeah, exactly, Frida. That's kind of my concern. I am a bit worried that it would be exhausting, like Phil DeFranco. I mean, as it is, I still try to keep up with everything, and it is emotionally exhausting. Like, I swear that is the reason why. That is a large part of the reason why some days I just can't face doing much of anything because I'm so emotionally and morally exhausted. I'm hoping at some point, I don't know, that'll change, but I don't know how or when that's going to happen because it just seems like every day it's a new assault on something I hold dear, and I it is quite demoralizing. But yeah, I think I could do political if it could be my full-time job. I mean, it would be exhausting, but like I can't imagine working a job or two jobs and still doing political. I don't see how I can make that happen. At least not now. Maybe if things turn out the way I'd like and we start seeing a whole crap load of reforms. Oh yeah, we are. We are. And there's still hope to turn this thing around. But yeah, I don't know that it's going to actually happen. I just feel. Frida says, "Oh, we're witnessing the downfall of the union. I'm just over here rearranging deck chairs, girl." Mm-hmm. That's pretty much how I feel. Like, okay. I mean, yeah, I like the idea of just doing something frivolous and fun, and hopefully making a little bit of money at it at some point. Although I swear I think I'm maybe around $50 in my Google account, so. Oh, why do I do the thing on my chin? I have a very, very, very slight cleft in my chin, so I'm trying to emphasize it a little bit. Just a smidge. A smidge. And it's not like I've got a butt chin like Dad. But I do try to, like Dad or our little beloved Travis. But I am trying to just kind of slightly. It's like a very slight divot there. Mostly so I'm hoping it won't look quite as witchy as it does. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, okay. Dropped off a gift for Dad. He wasn't home. Well, I bet he was probably hanging out with his lady. He does still see her. So, which is good. I'm glad he's not totally lonely during all of this. Yeah, I talked to him on his birthday, and he's doing okay. So yeah, I suspect if he wasn't home, I think I know where he was. Sorry. Okay, let's see. I know. Oh, he chatted with the porch ladies. Okay. Any gossip from them, or do people not see each other enough? Oh, I forgot to say, I picked up a couple of headbands at TJ Maxx the other day. This is one of them, and I picked up this neat black ribbon one. I'll show another day, but I thought headbands would be a good idea because then when I'm wearing a mask, if it starts to feel like, if it's too much for my ears, I can kind of maybe tuck the elastic underneath there. And perhaps not suffer quite so much, because it does look like I'm going to be back to work. I know, isn't this gorgeous? It feels a little evening, and I never expected myself to be a big Alice band kind of person. On the other hand, I think it'll be good for helping hold my mask in place without torturing my ears. And it keeps my hair out of my face, which will be good too, especially in these times. I mean, hey, if I'm gonna have to do, go back to work, which apparently I'm gonna have to go back to work, because I just found out today that our schools are reopening. They're planning on doing a mixed model where parents can opt to have their kids stay home and do online learning only. And they're looking at alternate days for the kids. So I was just talking with the after school program boss today, and so she's working on cementing down what that's going to be and what the parents think they're going to need for care for their kids, and go from there. You're taking a year off subbing? Awesome. Hey, if my husband was making the kind of money your husband was, I would too. I'm afraid to go back to work, but I'm gonna have to go back anyway. Because, even if the extra $600 a week does come back, once my job reopens, I have to go, or I'm ineligible, unless for whatever reason they decide they can't use me. But I'm not going to count on that. So looks like I'm going back to work. I'm very nervous. I'm really freaking nervous. But it looks like I'm going to go back. Because of course it is more important to open the schools than it is to just make sure that that families have what they need, so we can sit this thing out until it's over. It is a no-win situation, and it didn't have to be. And with a more cohesive, organized, and proactive approach, we would not be in this situation. I mean, we're doing pretty good here in New York, but still, I'm still very nervous to go back to work, but I'll do what I can, and I suppose if it kills me, it kills me. I mean, after all, that's all I'm worth, right? Doesn't... It's all I'm worth is what work can I do? How can... I'm just so angry. Because I don't think we're ready. Even here, I don't think we're ready. But it doesn't matter what I think. Yeah, exactly, Frida. That's all any of us are worth, because that's the way our system is set up. Hey, is anybody else in here yet? I see we may have a couple more people in the chat that haven't made themselves known yet. Who else is here? Sorry, I didn't mean to start crying this early on in the chat. It's just so infuriating. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go in. Our current system of capitalism absolutely sucks. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try out my very first Becca highlighter that I got for $8. These are normally $38. This is the Lilac Geode, which I'd actually been wanting. See how pretty she is? Yeah, exactly, Frida. Our health insurance is tied to work. Our life insurance, based on how much we earn, it is a horrific model. Absolutely. And that's why I get so mystified when people seem to seem to act like anything more humane is somehow going to send us into a Soviet Russia type of dive. It's ridiculous. So this is my very first full-size Becca highlighter. I did have a mini of Opal, which was too dark for me, and she broke, and I turned her into an eyeshadow. But I'm gonna go with a little kid. Okay, it's like kind of a, it looks kind of like goldy purple on. I probably put a little too much on. So I'll take a clean powder brush and just disperse it a little bit. But yeah, our health, we should not have our medical care tied to work. It's obscene. Golden coin, hi, how are you? Yeah, it is pretty. Let me do a strong swatch there. I have to do it lightly because it can be a tad dark on me depending. Oh, we're just talking about how the modern American system of capitalism is failing us all. And I have to go back to work, and it doesn't matter whether I live or die. How are you doing, darling? Okay, let's see. And for a lippy, hang on a sec. I gotta take a peek at something. All right, so I'm gonna go in with, no, not that one, the other one. I picked up another Laura Mercier lippy. This one is Lip Parfait Creamy Color Balm, which intrigues me. It's called Cherry's Jubilee. And I got it for $6. So we know Laura Mercier, fancy, fancy. Fancy, fancy. So let's see what Cherry's Jubilee looks like. Oh, it feels good. Ooh, okay. A little brighter than I expected from a color balm, but I'm not mad. Feels really good. Let's see, Golden Coin says, we give power to those who have control. That's the main problem with modern day capitalism. Exactly. Too much power. Exactly.
Much better if you
It's, they have far too many exceptions, too few limitations. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I picked up 2 palettes at Marshall's, and I'm debating which one to try today. The first of the choices is the BH Cosmetics Glam Reflections in Rosé. Picked her up for a whole $4.50. Woohoo! Let's see this. And this is an older BH palette, but y'all know something a little old doesn't stress me out. So these are the colors we're looking at, just kind of gentle. This other one's kind of gentle too. This one is the It Superhero, and I got this for $15. I think these are usually like, oh, $40, $50, something like that. I forgot to look it up. But yeah, they're a little pricey, but okay, this is the It Superhero. Okay, the packaging it's kind of fun, but it's kind of silly. And then we've got that. So both of these are more gentle color schemes. Let's see. Golden Coin says, in the day of judgment, everyone will pay their due. We can only hope. Yeah, I prefer that to come sooner, preferably where I can see it. I have no idea if there's going to be any afterlife day of judgment. I want to see that. I want to see it. I want the satisfaction of seeing. Okay, so let's, for the vote, let's say number 1 for the BH Cosmetics, and number 2 for the It superhero. So what's the vote, guys? Dun 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 dun. What's your vote? Which palette should I use now? Oh, hey, look, you can see my mess. Okay, Golden Coin's thinking. Frida likes the superhero. Any other votes? Two shines. Well, this is number 2. This is number 1. Because, I don't know. So you like the number 2 as well, Golden Coin? I can refresh you on the colors. Oh, you like these colors? Okay, so we've got 1 vote for BH. And I think it was 1 vote for It. So let's see what it's going to be, or is Golden Coin rethinking their vote? Oh, check this out. The other lipstick I got from TJ Maxx. The bottom corner light blue. Okay, so then that would be this one? I don't think there was a blue in the other one. Yeah, that's it, palette 2. Okay, number 2 it's gonna be then. It's superhero. Oh, but check out this other lipstick I got. I still need to sanitize it, but I think I sanitized the rest. Anything else that needed it. But check out this color. This is a Kevin Kwan lipstick. I had an eye on it for a while, but I waited till it went on clearance for a whole $5. So she's pretty. I just want to spray her down with alcohol. Okay, so I will do, and let's see. Now, Golden Coin, so Golden Coin wanted the light blue involved. I can do that. Kind of excited about that, actually. Because I like blues as well. And I love it. They call this blue bold. Because it Cosmetics tends to have fairly gentle eyeshadow colors. They're not known for their boldest eyeshadows. So let's swatch that blue. Let's see what we're talking about here. Oh, okay, it's like a bluey, purpley, gray sort of color. Okay, that's the first swatch. Let me throw a little bit more there so we can get a good look at the color. Okay, yeah, it's pretty. Okay, all right. I think I will feature that color then. In which case, where is my It superhero? Wonderful, beautiful, or not It superhero. The Urban Decay Primer Potion. Frida said Frida said, great, now the Jeopardy theme song is stuck in my head. Golden Coin says, hope you don't pass on with that theme. It's stuck for eternity. That would suck. Okay, so there are several shades here, 2 of which could be setting shades for me. The other is it's like a darker shimmer. So, but these other 2 are white people setting shades. So I think I'm going to use Confidence, which is this kind of pinkish one here. My fake Artiste brush. Yes, I still want the real ones. I'm actually hoping when and if I get a YouTube paycheck, maybe I'll be able to get them then. But it's like, I think it was like $170 for the set of 5 I want. And I'm just not sure
Swear.
what if it's going to be worth it for me. Am I excited to go back to work? Hell no. I'm terrified to go back to work, but I'm going to do it. I was just talking about how I don't think, and my boss doesn't think either, that we should be opening the schools at this point. That they should delay opening for like another month and see how things go, but that's not what they're going to do. They're looking at a mixed model. I'm also suspecting that I'm going to get a whole lot less substitute work, which sucks because when I'm subbing as a teacher, it's like $100 a day, which is nice. But I doubt that they're going to be doing as many like activities and field trips and stuff like that where they would need to call in a sub. So really, I think the only time they're probably going to need subs is if people are sick or like their families are sick or stuff like that. So I anticipate a lot less available sub work, but also given the alternate days of the schooling, I don't know if the after school program it would also run perhaps during school hours. Maybe Frida, but it's kind of, Frida thinks it's time for me to maybe look for a lower contact position. Maybe, but I still need 1 or 2 more surgeries on my other foot. So I'm a bit hesitant to leave work that I can, that has been pretty patient with me, kind of picking it up and putting it down, depending on when I'm having surgery. It's just like, I don't know. It makes me nervous. Plus, I don't know how, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to manage to look for a job with everything that's going on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into bold. Now, it's going to be kind of weird with this with this brush because, well, maybe not. The brush is a teensy bit wider, I think, than the eyeshadow pan, but not bad. I think I can manage it. Yeah, Frida, that's exactly it. The flexibility is going to be hard to leave. And my original plan was to work because I went back to work in March. My original plan was to work through the school year and then take the summer off to have my other surgeries. Well, that didn't happen. So, yeah, it really is a beautiful color. It's like very delicate and slightly pinky. I think that would be a great setting shade, especially for fair skinned people, where they have a little bit of pink in their skin. Okay, I gotta get this a little higher here. Every time I have to raise my eyebrows to put on my eyeshadow, I feel like I'm my dad, getting ready for a photo. And Frida can tell you, we get our hooded eyes from our dad, and in almost every photo of him, when he knows someone's taking his picture, he raises his eyebrows. And for a long time, I just thought that was weird. But now, once I've really taken a look at it, now I kind of understand. It's like, oh, okay. It's kind of like, all right, raise them so people can see your eyes. So it's not just, so you don't look angry. Because sometimes in some of my photos, even though I don't mean it and I'm actually got a pretty neutral expression, I look angry because of the overhang. It's like no, that's just my face. I'm not sure, Golden Coin. What do you think, Frida? Do you think he knowingly did that, or was it just kind of instinctive? Because he always freaking did it. I imagine he probably still does. I mean, he's even older, so they're probably even more hooded now. I haven't seen him in a while, and I hoped to go, well, first I'd hope to go back over spring break, and then I'd hope to go back sometime this summer, and I don't know if either one of those is going to happen or not. I very much wanted to visit everybody, but I'm just not sure that it looks like a great idea in Michigan. He needs to get an eyelid lift. Yeah, I bet he won't. Not until he can't actually see, although he probably could qualify under insurance by now. I think my old doctor said that the insurance requires like a 30% vision occlusion before they'll cover an eye lift. So it's like I'm kind of waiting. Yeah, I know yeah, we've all missed out on a lot of things. And with a more coordinated response, we would likely be just about over it by now. But instead, we've got cases ramping up. Oh, which reminds me, another thing I wanted to talk about before we get into our main topic for the evening is, have you guys seen that both Jake Paul and Nikita Dragun both recently threw huge parties? Like, big parties with no social distancing, no masking. There's footage of people at Nikita Dragun's party, at least, like grinding up on each other. So I think she wiped sweat off of one of her friends. I was appalled. I was absolutely appalled. And a lot of other YouTubers have come out with videos decrying this behavior and saying, well, if you're an influencer, you've got influence and you need to use it wisely. But these pinheads just do whatever they want. That's because they are trash. Yes, yes, yes. But that's what the kids watch. I mean, their audiences, a lot of them are children.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Jake Paul's.
It's feedback, isn't it?
Children. And they're, yeah, she's the trans girl who put out, oh, let's see, she recently put out a candle that offended a bunch of people because it has her face in the place of, like a saint or the Virgin Mary or whatever. The people that they usually have on those religious candles, but instead it has her face. So she's offended a lot of people. I mean, I don't care, but but sometimes you gotta read the room, sis. And she apparently did not do that. Of course, I don't know if her fans are buying that or not, buying the candle. I mean, who knows? Social engineering is crazy. Yeah, I suppose. Like this, the kids buy right into it. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, hey, golden coin. There is a gold shade in here, so I'll make sure to put it on for you. It is called Unstoppable. But first, I'm going to take this sort of, it's like a dusty lavender shimmer. Oh, Frida, you could buy Golden Girls candles like that? Oh, okay, that would be cool. I would like to have those. Okay, so I'm going to take this shade. It's called Superstar. It just seems like kind of a gentle color to have such a powerful name as Superstar, but okay, whatever. And I'm just going to go into and over this blue. What's the shade? Blue again? Bold, right. That is a good blue. I like the blue. This Superstar is pretty. I suspect I may have similar shades, but it's it's pretty. It's gentle. It's all right. We're doing okay here. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't think it's you know, like I'm not particularly offended by Nikita Dragon's freaking candle, but I know a lot of people are, and I'm sorry, she does not have the iconic status of the Golden Girls. She just doesn't. I don't care if she's trans. I just think she has not rated a candle yet. Dorothy, B. Arthur rates a candle. Golden Coin says, my mom always watched Golden Girls. I think the television programmed me. Yeah, probably for all of us. Sure. But, you know, then you've also got to look at what your parents let you watch, too. It's like my parents.
Oh, nice. Did you get these?
You know, like I had a, yeah, I caught the pun. I caught the pun, Golden Coin. Like our mom was pretty strict about what she allowed us to watch on TV. She didn't even let us watch Little House on the Prairie because of its inaccuracies. We had the books, but the TV show was not it for Mom. That was not happening. Oh yes, Frida K says I would also accept a Julia Sugarbaker candle. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we need. We need a set of designing women candles. And we have to include Anthony to go along with the with the Golden Girls candles. Which reminds me, recently I saw a clip and I hadn't realized that Don Cheadle guest starred on Golden Girls a long time ago, and he educated Blanche on why a lot of people found the Confederate flag offensive. I saw the clip again recently, and like, wow, I had no idea Don Cheadle was on there. And of course, he was excellent. Shrine to the 80s. Yes, yes, yes. And of course, Suzanne Sugarbaker, who is my body model. Because her figure was quite a bit like mine, but, you know, more, because she was a grown woman and I was a teenage girl. Okay, I'm going into Superhero, which is it looks like kind of a charcoal color. Actually, let me see. Is this charcoal or is it black? Yeah, okay. I'll be kind of gentle until I know what I'm dealing with here. Okay, alright, we're getting there. Oh, look. Amy does another smoky eye. Who knew? I know. Wow, it's a quiet night. Well, probably everybody's already in other people's chats, or I know, just like Wednesday was just a rough day for me, and then Thursday I slept right through the time that I was going to do my makeup date, but my makeup date. But I didn't want to go 2 weeks without putting up I didn't want to go more than the 2 weeks without putting up a video or a live stream. Well, because I'll have to. Isn't it crazy that the time that I'm going to be able to do more with my channel and do more live streams is going to be when I go back to work because of the stupid unemployment rules, but I don't dare sacrifice any more money than the 1 day a week, and occasionally skipping a week and saving the money. But we'll see what happens. I still want to get that surgery on my feet, but I'm kind of suspecting what'll happen is I'll probably just wind up working during the school year and then taking this next summer to do the surgery. I'm not thrilled by that. I wanted to have had it done earlier, but I just don't know what to expect with all this, and I know I suspect they're probably gonna need me to take care of children's. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be careful. Besides, can I get my surgery bumped up? Maybe, but I also don't want to lose my job. I mean, I am not covered by FMLA because of the way the structure of the job works. The time, like, I never get that year of full-time work, so, and I don't feel right trying to get it done right away. So I'm gonna kind of feel it out and see how it goes. I suppose I could have really pushed to have it done this summer, but to be perfectly frank, I didn't want to give up having any income, because that's what would have happened. I mean, not only would I have given up the extra $600 a week from unemployment, but because I hadn't been back to work for 2 months and also having worked enough to put me back into eligibility for the disability insurance, I wouldn't have even been getting that. So I would have had no income this summer, and that just could not be allowed to happen. Exactly. See? And that's the stupid thing. It's like, okay, I could be during this time when I didn't have to work, I could have been doing something to make me more capable of working later, but I can't because of the stupid rules. See how dumb that is? I mean, honestly, if I'd have been able to have unemployment income from March, once I found out that we weren't going to have the summer program, I could have had a surgery right away, and I'd be pretty much over it by now, barring any things. Yeah, they want people oppressed, and they're getting it too, because I'm oppressed. Not as oppressed as many others, of course, and actually, as far as things have gone for us during the pandemic, I can't really complain a whole lot. We've been quite fortunate. We had some tax refund money that kept us going until I actually started receiving my unemployment, which took a while. But yeah, it's just been really unstable. I mean, we've been okay, but the situation is still unstable. Actually, this is quite comfortable. It's a little firm behind the ears, but I think that'll be great for holding down the elastics. So I'm really happy about this. This is cute. Okay, yes. I'll show my other one another time. Yeah, Frida, it is frustrating. It's driving me out of my skull. All right, so I'm gonna go into Unstoppable because Golden Coin is here, and I know you always like to see a bit of gold here. So I like to oblige. We'll just do gold all over here, but it's a very soft gold, like a champagne-y kind of gold. Wow, that is quite light, isn't it? Yeah, just very gentle colors today. But I still try to make it a little bold for you. Don't worry, we're about to get into Jeffree's video. Okay, so let me see, where was I? But before I talk about Jeffree, let's see. I already mentioned. Oh yeah, that's true, Golden Coin. I say, yeah, same here, very lucky. As my grandma once said, if you have your health, you have everything. Well, and I don't entirely have my health. I have things I need to do that are going to require surgeries. But overall, I've had the ability to stay home as long as I have during the pandemic. And that's been great. So it's really hard to complain about that, truly. I'm grateful it worked out for me. I know there are a lot of people it hasn't worked out for, and I really hope they're going to be okay. Like if I'm not mistaken, the New York's moratorium on evictions is going to end tomorrow. And I'm very nervous on what's going to happen, because that's the last thing you want, is a whole bunch of people getting evicted right when we're just starting to come out of the pandemic here. So I'm very nervous for them. We've also been fortunate enough that, and I know it sounds screwy to say fortunate in this case, because my husband's on Social Security disability. So while it's not a ton, we do have enough money coming from Social Security to pay the rent. And like the rent and electric and the internet. The heat's another issue. But yeah, it's, I mean, our finances took such a dive after he got hurt. We've never really recovered, but in this circumstance, it has been kind of fortunate that we've at least had the small but steady income. However, that is now going to be less because the boy turned 18 and he's no longer a full-time student. It's in high school. So, yeah, so as far as it goes for him, toward the beginning of July, we received the last check for him. So, yeah, that sucks. So now, my husband's income from Social Security has just gone down by 1/3. Golden Coin says, it's against the law not to have a civic address too, even though most places in the U.S. are survivable without a shelter. Yeah, I mean, and it's, yeah, the vagrancy laws and pushing homelessness out of places, it's been terrible forever. And, oh, it's bad. I mean, when I was practicing law here, they told me about some of the clients told me when they were pushed into certain religiously run shelters by parole, and then they'd get kicked out because they didn't want to pray because they were atheists, and then they wound up being in violation of parole because they were in violation of the shelter rules, even though the shelter and the parole judge and parole prosecutor denied that there was any coercion in that case. Yeah, there was. There absolutely was. And it's ridiculous. And it was just so frustrating for me, especially because I want to, I very much am conscious of the constant pressure for atheists and the non-religious and even just non-Christians to hide and to go along, and it's tremendous pressure, and unfortunately there are lots of real world consequences if you don't, and it's obscene. Okay, I'm going to use this pretty, kind of pinkish, slightly shimmery shade called Powerful for my inner corner. Golden Coin says, why does an individual need to be tagged to one point of place? It's supposed to be a free land, right? Actually, what concerns me even more is the need to have an address to register to vote. And I understand it's because, they don't want people who are not residents of a certain place to vote in their elections, but then you run across the problem of, okay, well, someone doesn't have a home, but okay, what are they supposed to put on their voter registration? You know, in a van down by the river. So then a big problem I'm seeing is, and I really think that this is going to become a huge problem in the next election, is the disenfranchisement of the homeless. Because what happens is, okay, now, now a lot of states that put the eviction moratoriums on, those are about to lift up. A lot of people are going to be evicted, and who knows where they're going to land. Whether they have some people that they can stay with or what's going to happen. But for anyone that doesn't have a physical address of some sort, they're not going to be eligible to vote in this coming election. And I don't think that this is entirely not by design. I suspect that, I'm suspecting that between the delays to get unemployment to people in the first place and the fact that so many people weren't eligible for unemployment, then you come into all these evictions, either through delays in funding or not receiving any. Okay, so then what happens? People get evicted. If they don't have a place to land, but before whatever the cutoff is to re-register once they get a new address, then they don't get to vote. Disenfranchising the poor. And I hit a paywall, but I read a headline for the New York Times saying that a lot of black women are going to be adversely affected by the expiration of the eviction moratorium in New York. And what we've got to remember too is, if anybody remembers, I think it was in Alabama. Was it Alabama? What was his name? Roy Moore, the pedo who was running for, I think it was either Congress or Senate, and the voting bloc that prevented his election to that office was black women. Black women saved us from this guy, and now, at least in New York, and I suspect in many other places, more black women are going to be disenfranchised due to the expiration of the eviction moratorium. I am frightened. I am really frightened. I know I wasn't going to get so serious yet. I was just going to talk about Jefferson Starship, but don't worry, I'll get there. I just don't want to try to play his video so we can tear it apart while I'm doing my makeup. But I felt like I wanted to get cute because I think I'm gonna want to do a new thumbnail for this afterwards. Yeah. Ugh. And thank you, Golden Coin. Golden Coin said I have a good point. But yeah, it's craziness. It's absolute lunacy. Why are we doing this? Okay, I'm kind of liking this. It's kind of like blue-gray, smoky. I feel like I want a little more there, though, so let me touch that up. Ah, the peril of hooded eyes. You never know when... Sometimes... You never know when you're going to have to go back in. Oh, and I forgot to do my arch. Well, I should do that. Okay, let's throw a little more blue in there too. Get nice and... Sorry, I'm trying to look at myself. I'm not actually angry. I'm just looking at my eyes. See, that's the thing is, like our hooded eye is just another another version of RBF. That's resting bitch face. Okay, for the arch, not a lot of options here, really. I guess I'll go with Limitless, even though it seemed a little dark for an arch shade, but let's give it a go. Limitless. Yeah, I wish. I have all kinds of limits. Oh, Golden Coin says Bitcoin can be a gateway to new freedom from all this. Well, you still have to find a way to acquire the Bitcoin, dude. I mean, and I've seen a lot, and I found myself in a rare position of agreeing with Dave Ramsey on the ramifications of a cashless society. I think going completely cashless as a society is a terrible idea, because it's gonna just put the banks in control of everything. And a friend of mine who's a librarian, she actually pointed out to me that she got scared off the idea of a cashless society quite early when she read a The Handmaid's Tale when she was a teenager, because of course one of the first things they did when they were starting their full takeover is they shut off the women's cards and their access to their bank accounts. Now with cash, that's not so much of an issue, but when the bulk of your money is in the bank and only accessible by cards or with your husband's permission, well, that leads to a lot of not great things. And truthfully, I don't know how much longer the governments are going to put up with Bitcoin. I mean, unfortunately, Bitcoin's used for a lot of dark web purchases that really are, I'm not going to say, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. Things that should not be available for purchase. And Bitcoin is an untraceable way to purchase those. So there is danger from them, but, from... Well, exactly, Frida K. And that's where we run into an issue is, what the alternative is to bury mason jars of cash in the yard? Don't tempt me. But and I'm not saying that there's any particular solution to it. I'm saying it's an issue and it's something that we need to be very careful of. And I think that we need to keep cash circulating in the society. If we go completely cashless, then there's nothing. There's no little stash that you can have, especially especially for those women that like the ones that are in abusive marriages and they try to get little, have a little cash stash so they can get away, and they'll have something that goes out the window. Those husbands will know exactly what's going on because there won't be any cash. Ow. So it's a thing. It's a thing. Okay. So, hot now. All right, let me do the eyelash. Let me do the spraying eyelashes, and then we'll get into the rest of the video.
If you're not ready to have children.
I forgot to powder. Oh well.
It would. Oh, it would.
Oh well, I forgot to powder.
You're too young to have children, Elijah. No, I'm not gonna let him have kids. He's 18 years old, baby.
Yes, please don't have children now, Elijah. You're too young. Enjoy your life first.
You've got no life experience.
Aw, thank
being an
you.
awful parent.
Golden coin says no powder, but still looks, and then a gold medal. A shiny gold medal from Golden Coin. Yay! Alright. I'll do mascara just to top it off. Okay, yeah, I do really like the band. I think it'll be nice. Even with a bun and then the mask, and it'll hold the mask so I don't kill my freaking ears.
Don't forget, children are an expense line.
Oh my god, man. It costs a fortune. And I didn't even hatch him myself.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, he's alright. I'll keep him.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm comparing having a dog and having kids.
Nobody arrests you if you leave your dog at home alone.
That's a good point. Stepmom just pointed out that nobody will arrest you if you leave your dog at home alone.
Golden Coin says he's $1 million investment that won't pay off. Truth. Truth. Okay. All right, let's call this done. Before I get into Jefferson Starship's video, let's talk a minute about Sebastian Williams, who took it upon himself in one of his videos to name the alleged victim of some inappropriateness, to which level I don't know, by Jimmy Chuck, James Charles. So Jeffree started been going around for some time with this voice note, playing it for other people, especially other YouTubers, and claiming that that this was an authentic voice note, and that there was something bad that happened to this person by the hands of James Charles. Let's put it that way. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid the wrath of the algorithm, because YouTube doesn't like certain words, and they tend to demonetize and suppress videos that say certain words. So now everybody and their brother is avoiding those words. But I picked up this handy dandy little thing at Dollar Tree. Yeah, Frida, there's a very, very poor return on investment on children. So the words that YouTube seems to be suppressing are things like that one, that one, that one. Yeah, I know, real high tech here for these live streams, but I don't have the setup to insert things while I'm live. I can do it in editing, but that's not what I'm going to do here. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, here's another word YouTube doesn't always like. There's another one. I'm just coming up with some of these words that I've seen other channels edit out. Like they'll speak and then they'll go back into their video and edit those words out. That's what really annoys me, is they actually edit out they actually have to edit out that word to avoid the wrath of the algorithm. That is what we're dealing with here with YouTube. Isn't that crazy? Like, why? But it's their platform. They can do what they want with it. So I have my handy dandy little dry erase board. And hopefully their bots aren't quite strong enough to pick that up yet. It's like pizza file for one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Sebastian Williams decided to, in a video, I'm not sure if it was a video or a live stream, but he actually named the person that he believed, hi Christine, that he said was the person in this alleged voice note who is an alleged that of Jimmy Chuck, who allegedly did one of those. That's what I'm getting to. Hey Christine, how are you doing today? I'm just about to get into all the Jeffree Star stuff. I've been talking about other things while I'm doing my face, while beating my face with my $15 Marshall's clearance palette. Yay. So he decided to actually name this person. Now, I didn't see the initial video before he went back in and edited that out. I do have to say that I've really appreciated all the other drama channels that have reported on this. They also did not name the person involved, and I appreciate that. I mean, the nosy part of me wants to know, but it's not. But I understand and respect these channels' reasons for not also saying the name. And here's where often morality and the law have a clash. So now this is lawyer Amy. When we are looking, Cindy Lou loves glam too. Hello, so nice to see you here. Yay! Now we're getting busy here. Okay, excellent. So what we're looking at right now is a conflict between how the law treats these people of crime and how the issues around these particular crimes especially come into conflict. Sit back, kids. Time to go to law school. All right. A fundamental principle of U.S. law, particularly, is that all crimes are against society, not any individual person or group of people. That's why when you see all of these crime shows on TV, or you happen to be in a courtroom for some reason, if they call a criminal case, it's always, for example, the people of the state of New York versus Joe Blow. That's because legally all crimes are committed against society. The person that the thing happens to, yes, State versus Smith, yeah. But the person that this happens to, that word. they're what's called a complaining witness or a complainant, depending on which jurisdiction you're in. Now, where we run, oh, here's another one. And where we run into a lot of issues are in certain types of cases, particularly cases involving that, and that. Because a lot of times what you have is a problem where that word is either afraid to or doesn't want to cooperate with the prosecution. Now, in theory, and sometimes in theory, the prosecution does not need the cooperation of that person, the complaining witness or the complainant, to actually proceed with a case. If they can make the case without that person, sometimes they do, regardless of whether or not that individual wants to cooperate. Because again, crimes are committed against the people of the state of blah blah blah, or the state of blah blah blah. The form changes a bit depending on what state you're in, but it's the underlying principle that all crimes are committed against society at large, society as a whole. But where you run into problems is, for instance, we dealt with it a lot in these cases, where there would be an issue, and this is just an example, husband would be arrested, and then the wife, for whatever reason, decides that she doesn't want to proceed any further with it. Oh yeah, Cindy. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a whole lot. And so then a lot of what prosecutors wind up having to do is to try to convince that person that they do need to cooperate. Frida says it happened in her first marriage. Yeah, I've had to deal with it too. Good times. That was awesome. So much fun. Highly recommend it. But then, the question for the individual is whether or not they want to proceed against they want to cooperate and proceed against this person, whether they feel safe doing so. What are the ramifications going to be for them, for their for their finances, for their children, for their pets, and of course additional issues of attachment. So that's a huge issue in criminal justice, both on both on the defense side and on the prosecution side. Yeah, Frida herself said drop it, and the prosecutor said that isn't up to you. Exactly. And where we really wind up with issues is especially if it's another witness that makes the call, like a neighbor or a friend, somebody who sees or hears something, like, oh, they're someone, things are getting loud, they start hearing noises, it doesn't sound good, so the neighbor calls the cops. Now this person had no intention of calling the cops. They had no intention of dealing with any of the fallout from that situation, but they're forced into it by a third party. What do they do? So this is an enormous issue in criminal justice. And it's also an issue with these guys, with these issues in particular. You know, with these more, it isn't so much an issue, but for some reason, well, for a lot of reasons, this and these have such such complex emotional and social and financial and all and shame attached, you know, shame consequences even attached to them, that it's really hard, it's really difficult to get justice on those. Not to mention, quite frankly, the conviction rate on many of those crimes when they do go to trial is not always great. It's really not. There are a lot of outmoded ways of thinking that jurors still have. Again, how many times has this lawyer said she doesn't trust juries? That crap's part of it. It's also part of the reason why I don't trust juries. Because there's so much that is bound up, you know, emotionally, socially, a lot of stigma involved in many of these issues. And so a lot of times people don't want to report it. They don't want to cooperate with any criminal prosecution. Frida says, never trust a cop, never trust a jury. Damn right. Making mountains out of molehills. I don't get where you're going with that, Golden Coin. I'm talking about the exact opposite thing. I'm talking about making molehills out of mountains due to various pressures. So what you wind up with is where oh, you mean the state's making mountains out of molehills? Well, there is some of that too. But I'm talking about the real stuff. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the opposite, where the state is actually trying to bring someone to justice, but this person is dealing with other issues, such as stigma, shame, attachment, where they're just not ready to deal with it, and they're not, especially don't want to make it public. So then that brings us to the voice note. Now, allegedly, someone sent Jeffree Star a voice note that detailed one of those by Jimmy Chuck. This person is alleged to be this person. Sebastian Williams named that person. That person never named themselves. That person appears to have never contacted the authorities. That person does not appear to want legal involvement or justice for this, for whatever reason. And then Sebastian Williams allegedly names this person. Again, I don't know who it is. I didn't see the name. No, none of the other drama channels said the name. So then we come into the question. We're not getting into that, Golden Coin, not yet. He's talking about false accusations, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not even getting into that. Lots of people don't call after lots of things for what don't contact the authorities for lots of things and for lots of reasons, and I'm not going to second guess that. We just don't have enough information. So whether this is true or false, whether this person actually experienced this, or whether it's someone acting for, in some kind of plot to take Jimmy Chuck down. Don't know. And I'm putting that aside because I don't know, I can't know. We're not getting into that. I wanted to talk more about the conflict that we get between the legal system and morality. Because as a lot of drama channels and commentary channels have been calling Sebastian Williams out, saying that it was not his place to name this person. It's not his story to tell. And they are right about that. And again, the conflict comes between the legal theory that crimes are committed against the state. And so when a crime is committed, it needs to be reported and dealt with by the state. And so we have that value, and then that comes head to head with a person's, with the individual's right to privacy, the right to control their own story, the right to control their own narrative. So these values butt up against each other, and that's been an enormous problem in dealing with criminal justice, especially when it comes to people who have been subjected to certain types of crimes, because there is a lot of stigma involved in them. And Golden Coin, so someone can be tied up in court for no reason. That's not what we're talking about, Golden Coin. That's not what we're talking about. I think you're trying to change the subject here, and I'm not going to go with that. We're not getting into that. We're simply, it's not for no reason, but there are circumstances which the state may have enough evidence to go forward without the cooperation of the person it happened to. And in those circumstances, the state may decide to go ahead with it, or they may decide that given the rest of the evidence they have, they can't really do it without that person's cooperation. And then the case gets dropped.
So is this like?
Oh, no worries, Cindy Lou, no problem. She said, sorry for the earlier comment on the money thing. I had to pause and you got behind. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, we had moved on from that, but yeah, it is going to get bad. It's going to get bad, and I'm worried, and I'm especially worried about people being disenfranchised because they become homeless. Well, along with the rest of the consequences of being homeless, it's another way to disenfranchise poor people. Because, of course, we don't want poor people to vote. They might actually vote in their best interest. Can't have that. Don't get me started. Oh, God. I will tear my hair out. Okay. So then, also related to this issue is what Sanders Kennedy did. Now, I've been following this for a bit, so I think I've pieced the situation together from various drama channels. I am, of course, going to say this is alleged. I don't entirely know everything, and, alleged. This is my opinion. But Sanders Kennedy allegedly found out about this voice note, and he contacted the LA Sheriff's, or like the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and made a report about this himself, and then used that to get as a scoop that the sheriff's office was investigating this. Then some other channels contacted the LA Sheriff's Department, and they were told that there was in fact no investigation about this and about any allegations against Jimmy Chuck. So then, and this kills me. This absolutely kills me. Sanders goes on camera, and he says he's talking with a representative from the sheriff's department, but the guy never says that's who he is. He never says that's what he is. And Sanders says, just to clear this up, a report was made, and there, I don't remember the sheriff's department designation, but essentially it was okay, we wrote it down somewhere, whatever. What if something comes up, it comes up, but it's essentially a nothing burger. That was my takeaway from that, was the sheriff's department was treating it as a nothing burger. But this is what Sanders used after he'd already been called out, because the sheriff's department stated that there was no investigation. And again, during this call, there was no indication from the caller who they were, what their rank was. Sanders said a name and some sort of rank, but the person on the phone never said that. We don't know who the hell that was, and we have no idea who that person was. Golden Coin says, I think there may be a misunderstanding on my part. Perhaps. I think so. I think you were going in another direction that I'm not going to hit now, because that doesn't tie into my overall theme of what's going on today. But yeah, so Sanders Kennedy made called in a report himself, then went on video and said that there was an investigation. Then after he was caught out on that, said that he had someone from the sheriff's department on the line, and that person on the phone never identified themselves as such. What the hell? Is this going to be the end of his career? Because, damn, that was pretty shady. That was shady as hell. And again, we come into a role where, if Jeffree Star actually played this voice note for Sanders Kennedy, and I can't remember whether he alleged that himself or not, I just can't. Then we come into the situation of, did he have a duty to make that phone call? I would argue no. He didn't witness it. He heard a voice note, but we don't know who that was. Maybe he could tell who that was, but I don't know. That's not information I have. But generally, with some exceptions, unless you are a mandated reporter, or in certain situations, but with the exception of those, you have no duty to report a crime, even if it happens right in front of your face. I could watch someone out my front door get mugged and do nothing, and I would be fine in most jurisdictions. Some may have a different law, and I would certainly check your own jurisdiction, but generally there's no duty to report, there's no duty to intervene for most people. All right, so then we look at, did Sanders have any duty to report this? I don't believe so. I'm not sure if there was, if there was a statute that conflicts with the overall common law on that, but I don't expect so. But then overall, what does he really have to report? He has to report that, Jeffree Star played something for me or sent me a file from someone claiming that something happened to them and claiming that they were by one of those. and that's all he has. You know, as a good citizen, would one be tempted? Would one think that they might have a moral responsibility to make such a report? Sure. And most likely, there might be an investigation, or the police might decide that there's just not even enough to start an investigation and treat it as a nothing burger. But then he tried to use it to further his career, which was crappy. If he had just made the call and done nothing else from there, I would have no issue. I'd be like, okay, he felt a moral responsibility to make the call. But no, the fact that he then tried to use that as an exclusive, as a scoop for his channel, gross. Gross. And, then we would still come into the issue where, okay, if the police did decide to take it seriously and speak to Jeffree Star and speak to this other person, is it, then again, we come up with the moral issue of, was it Sanders' place to do this? Is it Sanders' place to bring in the authorities when the allegedly was not reaching out for that kind of help? Is it really his place? And that's where we come into a lot of conflict of values between legal and moral. Not so much legal in this instance, but certainly if the police investigate, then then Jeffree might decide that it's in his best interest to cooperate and name this person, and then this, while this person told Jeffree something in a voice note, I don't think it was there does not appear to be any indication that there was any illegal recording going on, because when you record a voice note, you made the recording. You've been recorded because you did it. So, so then you wind up, but even with this conflict of moral values, okay, between a citizen's moral duty to report a crime if they think they know about one, versus the individual person's right to deal with their own story and their own trauma in their own time. It's an enormous conflict that we deal with. But before I get into Jeffree's video, I need to take a little powder break. So I will be right back. Chat amongst yourselves. All right, am I on? Yes, it appears so. Now that you guys are done talking shit about me, let me get out of here and get into Jeffree's video. Jeffree Star. His channel, looking way more glamorous than anyone has a right to. Here we go, doing what's right. Yeah. It's gonna be a night. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be a night. Oh, shiz. Hang on, I gotta turn up the sound. Because I had it on silent.
I've been silent for a very long time. I know that's very rare for me. I've taken a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection.
Look at that
tacky
ass
I've been very
couch.
guilty of speaking out of anger, out of frustration, out of my emotions.
Okay, you're gonna see in a minute why I did the thumbnail I did for this, although I might wind up changing it. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me later if you think the thumbnail's still gonna be good for this talk or not. What? What just happened? No, not you. No, not now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Now, I've been silent for a very long time. I know that's very rare for me. I've taken a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection. Now, in the past, I've been very guilty of speaking out of anger, out of frustration, out of my emotions. I'm so quick to grab my phone and just say whatever's on my mind in that moment without ever really thinking the ramifications of my words, my actions, and for the first time in a very long time, I'm really reflecting on my behavior and mine alone. And I've come to a lot of realizations, and it's been really important to actually understand everything that I was a part of, that I did wrong, and really start a new chapter for myself. I've spent a lot of time realizing why I do certain things and why I do the things that I do.
Hi, Gypsy. We're just getting into it. Hang
on. A year ago, I did a
video. Let me pause for a couple comments. Okay, so Cindy Lou says, I wonder if he may have blackmailed the unnamed person into giving the voice note. Then again, the person may have just trusted him too much not to keep the voice note. Yeah, or not to do anything with it. But Jeffree Star has been documented saying on social media that he keeps dirt on everybody so that everybody knows to keep their mouth shut. He has said this before. So I don't know what the motivation of this person would be to give him this voice note. I don't know if it is an actor that he paid. I don't know. I don't know if this voice, I mean, I think it's pretty clear from enough YouTubers that the voice note appears to exist. I don't think there's a lot of controversy that this voice note exists. It's just the provenance and underlying authenticity that is in question. Okay. All right, so now another channel pointed out, oh, who was it? I think it's Sarah Jo Makeup. I really enjoy her content because she is a trained actress. And so what she likes to do with these type of videos is she likes to break them down like she's studying a character and talk about what she sees in the video as she's breaking down the character. Let me jot this down. But her content is really interesting. So there you go. My handy dandy Dollar Tree graphics here. But so I really like that approach, but she made sure to point out how important his staging is here. He's not at his usual set. He's sitting in his living room on his couch. He's got his robe and his slippers on, and while they are ridiculously expensive, it's still a robe and slippers. And I'm not sure if she said this or somebody else, but there's also this wide angle so that he looks tiny and vulnerable on this enormous freaking tacky ass gold velvet couch. Let's see. He's paranoid. Yeah, Gypsy. Definitely. Okay. Golden Coin says, so he projects his distrust in people? Is it no wonder? He attracts certain types of people. He is certain types of people. I think it's pretty well established that the common denominator in the demise of all of these friendships and collaborative relationships is Jeffree. So does he attract the wrong people, or is he the wrong people? Well, let's see. Yeah, but look. Okay, so he's got this, he's also got it set like right in this ridiculous double circular staircase. And the couch is opulent. The robe and slippers are very expensive. We can tell. He looks expensive, but he also looks tiny and a bit vulnerable. That's what he's going for. So part of it is, F you guys, I have a ton of money. And part of it is, oh, but little teeny tiny me. Yeah, the wide angle, I think it's not only to flex his wealth, but also to make him appear vulnerable by showing how small he is. That couch further reflects you can't buy taste. Oh my God, I know it. He's so tacky.
Video called Never Doing This Again, and I meant that.
Self-awareness is against him.
Has been really, really crazy, and I have added to the chaos. When I filmed my video called
You added to the chaos in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016. You added to the chaos. He's been chaotic the entire time he's been on social media. He's adding to he added to the chaos of 2020. Really? Wow. You really took a lot on yourself, didn't you there, pal? Yeah.
Human, have I done some fucked up things? Of course I have. But at the end of the day, today, once again, I will not be exposing anyone. For everyone saying Jeffree's going to be coming with the receipts and we all need to get ready to forgive, that is the opposite of who I am. I know I'm dramatic, I'm crazy.
Okay, that is a direct response to Tati's video. Remember when we went over that, and she said that she was sure when he saw that video he was going to go off. Gypsy says, I was surprised at how many subscribers the problematic folks have. Golden Coin says psychiatrics too. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's crazy. But I think part of it is because they have so many issues, they get a lot of publicity. Between their sniping at each other and the drama channels picking things up, which of course they do, but there are lots of non-problematic YouTubers out there that are just out there. They're doing their thing. They've got their fan bases. They're doing great. It replaces soap operas. Exactly. Especially when most of the time you can get your soap opera in a 10-minute video. Golden Coin says, "Damn, I'm gonna make another account called Psychiatric Stew." Oh, that's a good name. That's a good name. I'm kind of jealous about that, but I don't have enough psych background to feel comfortable using that, but I might have to find another handle. Yeah, Cindy Lou, people always like to tune in for a train wreck, unfortunately. Exactly. Great point. Yeah, but look how little itty bitty tiny and kind of like all, his kind of huddled up body language. He is trying to look vulnerable here. Against this ridiculous backdrop, but he is trying to look vulnerable so that people will like him even though he's filthy rich and can apparently buy you.
Times I'm outspoken, but at the end of the day, that is not who I am.
Oh,
and today I will not be seen.
But I missed making my original point, which was that what he said there about how he's not going to expose anybody or do anything, that is a direct response to Tati's video. That is pointed, that is very pointed at Tati. Damn it! No, I don't want to watch this. No, I am busy now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my I have added to the chaos. Okay. When I filmed my video called Never Doing It Again, I meant every word in the video. Did I
hang on a second. Let me full screen this. There we go. Then I can stop hitting that other one. Golden Coin says maybe he notices money cannot buy relationships. Yeah, although he's certainly tried, hasn't he? It's like he seems to, you know, because we've seen a pattern with him, at least with Rich Lux and with Shane Dawson, where he starts reaching out to, you know, he starts becoming friendly with them. And then he does things like surprises them with really expensive gifts. Okay, like I did see the video where he went over to surprise Shane at home with like shopping bags full of freaking tacky ass Gucci stuff for Shane. Which I'm just like, oh my god, really? Really? You want this? Ugh. But you know, it's a love bombing. That's what I've seen him do. I've seen him do this with Shane and with Rich Lux, where he does this love bombing. Yeah, Gypsy, there he did a video, and at the time it was called Surprising My Boyfriend with His Dream Car. But then after they broke up, he took the car back. Turns out the car was still in his name. You know, he never put the car in his boyfriend's name. He owned it the whole time, and apparently now he went back and changed the title to something like Pretending to Buy My Boyfriend his dream car, some crap like that. But it was just gross. You know, if you give someone a gift, you give them a gift. You don't keep it in your name. What the hell?
Up, am I human? Have I done some fucked up things? Of course I have.
Yeah, clearly.
But at the end of the day, today, once again, I will not be exposing anyone.
Oh no, he bought the car. He just kept it.
And we all need to get ready to forgive. That is the opposite of who I am. I know I'm dramatic. I'm crazy at times. I'm outspoken.
Now, something you're going to notice throughout this, I hope, and something that I didn't catch when I first saw it because I didn't watch his video. I watched it on drama channels. But the first time I really noticed about the jump cuts was when I was watching D Vita, and she pointed out how many jump cuts there are in this. So we're going to get into the jump cuts a little bit later, but I just wanted to mention it now that there was an obvious one, and to break it up so I don't get copyrighted. But D Vita, when she's playing this video, she points out every single jump cut. So if you want to watch her video to catch every jump cut, get everyone pointed out, that's your girl. Okay, let me take a sip and we'll go back into this. I know, it's so not classy. It's classy with a K. All right, here we go.
But at the end of the day, that is not who I am. And today I will not be sitting here showing a million text messages and all these things that allegedly are out there. That's not it. I will not be entertaining it. My lawyers are entertaining it behind the scenes, but I will not be. I know this may sound shocking coming from my mouth, but when you accept that you are the problem, you can become the solution. And I've definitely put myself in the victim mentality before when I knew I was wrong, and I didn't want to admit it, I wasn't ready to, and I was too insecure. But today, there are no excuses. I'm someone that has impulse control, and I'm fully admitting.
Doesn't he mean impulse control issues? A lack of impulse control? You know, if he's going by a script, it needs to be rewritten. But I am going to point out where I think he screwed up, besides his misphrasing of his impulse control problems. doesn't hear herself. Yeah. Oh, let me go back in the chat a second. Let's see. Golden Coin says, so we should be using the word he does blank by that? Yeah. Oh, you mean the Gucci and other stuff? Yeah, no, I think they got to keep those. It was just like that ridiculous card that he took back. Golden Coin points out the signature to my show is the giant soda bottle because it's cheap and I'm clumsy. You see me, I talk with my hands and a glass would go flying. It would. It has. Gypsy says, tons of folks are decluttering his makeup in declutter videos. Yeah, I know. I can't do that because I don't own any. Although Frida is supposed to split up, is supposed to give me her mini conspiracy or mini controversy. But I think that's probably gonna have to wait till I get there. And I'll take it. I can use some of the colors for like cosplay looks and stuff like that. I'm just not gonna promote his ass. But here's where I think we're gonna have some issues. It's sitting there in a box, Rita. Okay, awesome. Is you're gonna see a lot of jump cuts here. Oh yeah, I can still use it. I just won't promote his ass, but I can use some of those colors. Especially because I want to start doing more like kind of, like cosplay looks and costumey things. So, hey, that'll be good for those. Oh, yeah. Gypsy's waiting on clearance sales. Morphe's got his stuff on clearance. Yeah, it's hilarious. Oh, TJ Maxx clearance? I don't think his stuff is actually going to hit TJ Maxx. I'll be shocked if it does. He's way too much of a snob. And he's already like, he was making so much fun of Kat Von D when her stuff started hitting TJ Maxx. That was shady as hell. But the issue that we're going to see here is, and here's where I think he's handling this wrong from the outset. Tati was up front that while she wrote this herself, she did run it by her lawyers, and had them check it over. Jeffree, while he points out that that the whole situation they've got going now is going to be handled by lawyers, he doesn't specifically say that he's had this reviewed by lawyers, and that ties into how many jump cuts there are, because what I suspect happened deeply is he told his lawyers he was putting out a video to try to save his reputation, and they said, well, if you don't let us review it first and tell you what to edit out, we're going to fire you. Because that's what I do. If my client had already made a video like this, it's like, look, I review it first or you're gone. Because once again, as I said with the Tati case, if you can't control your client, you can't control your case. And no lawyer wants that. It is a freaking disaster. Clients like Jeffree Star are the reason why lawyers drink. And I almost did like a boozy lawyer thumbnail, but I didn't have time and I wasn't sure how YouTube would like that. Yeah, we don't mess around, Golden Coin, not at all. Cindy Lou says he'd rather burn his makeup than sell it to TJ Maxx. Truth. And to be perfectly honest, I think even if Jeffree Star Cosmetics does go down in flames, I think he'll be okay financially. I believe he's invested in enough other businesses. He's got enough other things going that I think he's not gonna be homeless or anything like that. He'll still make a living even if YouTube and Jeffree Star Cosmetics are no longer a thing for him. So I don't think he's that pressed about the money. I mean, of course he kind of is, but I really think this is more of an ego exercise. And you'll kind of see as we go through the video with how many jump cuts there are. I am virtually certain that those jump cuts are the lawyers saying, take this out, take this out. Now what he should have done is after editing out everything the lawyers did, he should have reviewed the video and then reshot it. Gypsy says he can live off the interest if he stops spending wildly. But one thing he did say is that a lot of his more lavish spending are things that either hold their value or may even gain in value, like all those Birkins. Birkins tend to hold their value or even gain as certain editions become unavailable or if they're already rare. So that stupid closet full of Birkins, it probably is to some degree an investment piece, kind of like how jewelry had always been an investment for Indian families. Like brides would receive a lot of jewelry at their wedding as gifts, and then the jewelry held its value there. And then if they fell on hard times, the wife could start selling her jewelry to get money for the family. So that was a common thing there. And I think he's doing similar things with, these luxury sports cars and the purses, some of that stuff. A surprising amount of that is going to hold its value or even increase. So while it appears to us like he's spending wildly, maybe it's not as crazy as it seems. Okay, let's continue.
My flaws, and I hope that people can learn from me. I have moments where I get fired up. I don't think things through. I don't think about how my actions will affect others while I'm saying them.
No, you just don't care.
Your emotions without fully processing something, it is one of the most unhealthy things, and that is a very major problem of mine. A lot of people want me to address this situation, and a lot of people were putting a time stamp, like, Jeffree, you need to speak on this right now. And I think that
he should have just reshot the video rather than do all those jump cuts. He should have just reshot the whole thing. Or done like Tati did, write a script and have your lawyers go over it. And quite frankly, I can understand his lawyers just saying, take this out, take this out, take this out. But if he ran this by his PR people and they approved this, he needs to fire them. Because this whole video is garbage. You'll see. We're getting there.
We live in a world where people are just so used to doing what people want right away, and that's not good either. I think it's been very important to stay off of social media. I haven't been on in weeks. I haven't read anything, I haven't clicked a video, I haven't seen anything.
Yes, you
and
have.
Really
There's evidence.
Finding myself again and remembering why I'm here and how my actions can affect other people and everyone around me. I know there's a lot of people waiting for me to address the situation. Now, I didn't try to take anyone down. I'm not a villain in a movie. This isn't a Netflix series with a crazy storyline. I know it sounds like it, and trust me, I'm sure I'd watch it as well, but this is my real life, and a lot of things.
It's also other people's real lives. So when you go popping off because you have impulse control issues, you affect other people's lives. And we're supposed to believe that over the course of a few weeks, you've reflected on yourself, really? Are you sure that you're reflecting on yourself wasn't just you staring into a mirror? Because that's what it appears to the rest of us. Oh, and he has been clicking on some videos. He's been seen out with fans. Apparently, he'd posted that he was going to visit his grandmother, but he used an old photo on a plane. And was apparently seen with fans in the LA area that day, and that was posted to social media. So he's full of shit. His actions through the course of the last few weeks have not indicated to a lot of people that he's, doing the work and reflecting on himself. And of course, obviously, even when we're having a tough time, we still try to go out, we still try to do things, we still try to cheer ourselves up and deal with normal life so much. But then why say that you haven't done these things? It doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense for him to say, I've been in contact, I've been going to therapy on Zoom because that's the responsible thing to do right now in a pandemic. I've been going to therapy on Zoom. I'm looking at some of these issues with myself. I see how this is a pattern, and I need to stop certain behaviors. But that's not what we're seeing here. Okay, let me check for the chat real quick. He has, yeah. Cindy Luce loves glam too. Says cockroaches survive nuclear blasts. He'll be fine. Gypsy says he has no insight. Yeah, and remember, he put out a video saying that he wasn't going to get into drama again last year, and yet once again he keeps inserting himself into things. We see a constant pattern of him over the years, either being called out for something from his past, and doing his little apology, and then usually not on YouTube, usually on Twitter or something, or Snapchat, and then just expecting everybody to move on from it, and then just going on, and then scandal after scandal after scandal, and it's like he is bulletproof. He's been bulletproof for so long that now he puts out this video and he thinks it's going to be the same result. Now, whether it's going to be or not, I don't know. But the fact that Morphe finally found this so bad that they've now said that they're no longer going to have a commercial relationship with Jeffree Star. Now, the phrasing of that is interesting. And another lawyer YouTuber, beauty YouTuber, Kara C, pointed that out on Twitter. And her channel is bombed too. She's probably on live either yesterday or today, but she's definitely recommend her channel too. So then he's been doing this for so long, and he always gets by with it. So really, I think are you kidding me? Okay. So I really think what we need to remember here is this video is not for people like us. This video is for his stance. This video is for the people that want any excuse to feel okay still supporting him. Much like with the other allegations, and I'll admit, even for myself, with his past things of racism, I'm kind of like, well, they were old, and Shane had just done that documentary on him, and he said he was doing better. I was new to YouTube, but I knew he'd been problematic in the past, so I'm like, I'm going to keep an eye on this for a while and kind of see where this goes before I make any purchases from the brand. Motherfucker, still? I'm not. Alright, seriously. Where'd all my people go? What the hell? I'm here. I hope they come back. This sucks. Okay. Well, let's get back into it. Hopefully my peeps will arrive.
The things that are happening and being said are false. When someone else tries to take someone else down or their career and it doesn't work, you can't just take a few more down with you. That's not how life works. We have to all take accountability for our own actions and no one else's. And that's what I will continue to do. And if I don't, please.
Okay, that's a dig at Tati right there. That was a dig at Tati. We all take responsibility for our own actions. And I've seen other YouTubers, including even BX Beast Boy, which I'm kind of surprised that he kind of missed the subtlety on that one, because I really like his content. He's funny as hell. But I think that's one respect where he got it wrong with Tati. Let's see. BX Boy. He's funny as hell. I really like his channel. But the thing is that is from what I saw in Tati's video, and obviously some of you were there with me, and if you haven't, you can watch it. Just, you know, understand in the last like half hour, things get real personal. But she did take responsibility for her own actions. However, she explained what had been going on to provide context to the situation. You know, she wasn't excusing herself. At least her statement did not appear that way to me. But I think the subtlety of that was missed by a lot of people. Now here, Jeffree is specifically taking another dig at Tati about her video. The first dig we saw was about how he's not going to go off and produce a bunch of receipts. This is the second dig at Tati's video.
Fucking remind me. Now, I know that I've had a very hard time doing that in the past, and that will not be happening again. Now, did I mix myself up in drama? Did I speak on things I shouldn't have speak on? Of course I did. Did I believe certain things instead of asking the source? Did I get caught up in the hype? Did I do dumb shit? And did I not just
get caught up in the hype? He creates the hype. He creates the hype. He creates the hype. I have a hard time understanding how he feels like he got caught up in hype rather than creating it. Now, I can understand how he feels. I can understand, and I'm going to just put this as a possibility. A hypothetical. Now, hypothetically, let's say someone comes to him and gives him and sends him a voice note with a story about how bad things happened between them and James Charles. I'm trying to keep it advertiser friendly here, folks. But it's difficult to talk about the tough stuff that needs discussing because of YouTube's little habit of demonetizing these things. But okay, so let's say that somebody approaches Jeffree or sends Jeffree this voice note, telling their story. I can understand how perhaps someone would feel, would have certain feelings about it and feel like they wanted to do something about it. Now, in Sanders Kennedy's case, it was to contact the police and then turn it into an exclusive. Again, the first part of that impulse, okay, I get it. The second part, gross. But we've already gone over that. But in Jeffree's case, it wasn't to contact the authorities, and it wasn't to contact Jimmy Chuck and see what he had to say for himself. It was to shop this voice note around to different YouTubers. Apparently, he's played it for Tati. He's played it for Sanders Kennedy. Apparently he played it for Sebastian Williams, because Sebastian Williams came out with a name. And of course Blair White, who came out with her own video discussing this. And she said, and when she was discussing this, she actually said that she was, and I just saw the clip again earlier, something along the lines of, if I went up dead in a ditch, it was Jeffree. So, and we've seen multiple YouTubers talk about how actually physically they are afraid they are of him now. Oh, who was it that I was watching that said he basically operates like a mob boss? Was that I think that might have been BX Beast Boy. Oh, and also D'Angelo Williams just did a couple of fantastic videos on this whole thing. D'Angelo Wallace, sorry. DANGELO. Hang on. I'm working on my high-tech graphics here. Now he has 2 channels, but I think it was on that one. Oh, and he's a young kid too. I think he's only 21 or something, but in general, he's got a really level head. I actually really liked his. I also really liked his review of the of a BTS album. I thought that was really interesting. You know, he's not into K-pop, and neither am I. But his review is definitely worth watching. But he's done a couple of recent videos about Jeffree Star and the whole mess. And yeah, he makes it. Oh yeah, Cindy Lou knows him. He does great content.
Simply call James Charles and ask questions myself, 100%. And that is my fault. I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions. If I was really close with someone, I should have had the ability to just simply call.
Okay, now let's talk about that. The words that I said and my actions. Notice he's not getting specific here. Oh, how do I think this is all going to end up, Gypsy? I think it's all going to be settled before it goes to court. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we are never going to know. I think this is all going to get settled. I think all the lawyers are going to be pushing for this to get settled. Because, wow, this is messy to take to trial. I mean, it'd be kind of fun, but it'd be a lot of work and it'd be messy as hell. Yeah. Oh my word, so much. The defamation suits, oh my gosh, intentional infliction of emotional distress. You could have interference with business contracts. I mean, remember, when this all came down, remember he cut off his contract with Sisters Apparel. That because he owns Killer Merch and they were selling and they were distributing Sisters Apparel. Cindy Lou says glam too, loves glam too, says but think of all the billable hours. Oh, I do. Gypsy Rose Wynn says like family court and criminal court on steroids. I would say more like torts. A lot of this is tort. Yeah, we don't have criminal, but torts, which are the civil law, the civil suits. Most of those are torts, if not all of them. And the great thing for plaintiff torts is that unlike criminal cases where you need the entire jury to agree, you can actually structure it in some jurisdictions where it's a certain number of jurors agree. In some jurisdictions, actually most jurisdictions, you wind up with some way of dealing with a percentage. For instance, while in criminal cases you have to have beyond a reasonable doubt, in civil cases you don't. You have to have what's called a preponderance of the evidence, which means if a juror believes that the defendant or the respondent, depending on how the state structures it, if they are 50% or more responsible for something, then they can award damages to the plaintiff. Probably the example I use the most, because people are the most familiar with this situation, is O.J. Simpson. In his murder trial, where he was accused and subsequently acquitted of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman, that jury found that the burden of beyond a reasonable doubt had not been met. Truthfully, I think Mark Furman screwed that case for them, with his hijinks. I think if he hadn't tried to plant evidence it might have turned out differently, but it was what it was. Okay, so he was acquitted on that basis. However, then Nicole's family and Ron's family subsequently sued O.J. Simpson for wrongful death in civil court, and they won a substantial award. Like it was, I believe it was like $30 million just to the Goldmans, and I'm not sure what the Browns were awarded, but yeah. So what we have here is, even though he was acquitted at a criminal trial, that jury found him liable for wrongful death because the standard of proof was lower. That's how that worked. Not guilty of murder, but liable for wrongful death. I know. It sounds crazy, but that's our system. However, in most circumstances, when a civil action and a criminal action arise out of the same set of circumstances, most of the time, actually virtually all the time, the tort attorneys will wait until after the criminal proceeding, because if there is a guilty verdict at the criminal proceeding, the civil case is a slam dunk. It's easy as hell. Most of the time, they don't even have to go to court over it. The other side will just settle because there's already been a conviction. So there's no point going to court, because if a criminal court found them guilty, then a civil jury is virtually certain to find them liable. So that's, so the strategy with these things is generally to let it go to criminal court if there is a crime first. Okay, let's get back to old Jeffree. We're gonna be here for 5 hours. And I have to get up. I have to be done with this before 2 a.m. because that's when this is gonna like reboot and install things.
Call them and ask and say, hey, these were the things that were being said to me. Instead, I didn't. I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things, and I got caught up in the hype. It's disgusting. It's awful, and none of it should have happened. So,
but you have a pattern
I'm truly
of
sorry
this.
for my actions and my behavior. 2020 has been very tumultuous for a lot of us. It has been a very crazy.
Again, my words, my actions, my behavior, he's not saying anything specific. And he's not saying anything specific because he can't admit to anything specific. And I know a lot of people wanted to see that, and I saw a lot of drama channels calling that out. But again, it is because this is going, there are legal actions attached to this. And like I said, I don't think we're ever going to know what goes down in it. I deeply suspect it'll be settled, and there'll be so many NDAs sewing up everything tight. So we're never, I truly believe we're never going to know. If we ever find out what happened there, or this goes to court, it's because there was a serious breakdown in the process. And that generally, that's what most civil attorneys say. It's like, if this actually goes to court, it's because something went wrong. Something went wrong, and that's why we're in court. So yeah, he's not admitting to anything specific, which is very unsatisfying. Now, where I think he makes an error here is, again, that at the beginning of the video and also here, that he doesn't stress that that he's under instructions from his attorney, or he's had his statement reviewed by his attorney, anything like that. He makes a brief mention of things in the hands of lawyers, and that's it. And I think, even while Tati didn't say it enough, I really think Jeffree dropped the ball here. And again, if his PR firm approved this, then they should be fired. I mean, the attorneys don't necessarily have to worry about crafting an excellent statement. For him, that's not really their job. And I think why we're seeing all the jump cuts is them telling him to take stuff out. That is my guess. But his PR firm should have helped him craft something more cohesive while still staying in under the restrictions that his lawyers put him. But the fact that he's not bringing that up and just using these vague terms and hoping that'll be enough without further explanation of why he's not being specific, I think is an enormous mistake.
The year, and I think that James and myself and anyone involved would agree with me that there are way bigger issues happening on this planet. I know that some people may, Jeffree, you're just saying this as a distraction. Jeffree,
yes.
No. Reality is here.
Oh,
And
shut up.
Drama and beauty, community, gossip, and tea.
But that's not what this is about.
It used to be for me, but it's my life and it's their lives. And right now, outside of our walls, our world is falling apart, and it's truly shocking. So I'm not going to give you an expose of the beauty community. I'm not going to end anyone today. I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I've
Bullshit.
never committed a crime before, and I've never been.
He has said on social media that everybody knows to keep their mouth shut because it's got dirt on everybody. How is that not blackmailing people? How? Were you lying then or are you lying now, sir? Yeah, we'll do the law and order. So, are you lying then or are you lying now? Also, when he says that he's never been arrested, never gone to jail, are you lying then or are you lying now? Because you have said previously that you did go to jail. Several times, apparently, or at least been arrested several times. Which isn't a big deal, and I thought it was very odd that he even brought that up when A, he said the opposite before, and B, that is something that could be proved or disproved if someone wanted to do enough digging. It's not that difficult, dude. It's not that difficult to prove whether or not you've been to jail. It's really not. I mean, unless there's a sealing order, and an expungement. That's about the only way that it couldn't be found by, pretty much anybody that cared to do the digging. I don't care that much, but I'm just saying that's an odd thing to do. That's an odd thing to say. I'm kind of surprised his lawyers didn't have him cut that out. If he did, in fact, run this by them, I would have. But again, they were probably just focusing on their case in particular. But the problem is that when he says things that are easily disprovable by his own words and actions, what it also does is undermines his credibility in court. This video and other clips of him saying things that contradicted in the past, those can possibly be brought into evidence in a case to show that he has a pattern of dishonesty. And and in a civil case, of course, especially on it, whether or not he's honest is going to be a huge issue, especially if he testifies. Cindy Lou loves Glam too says, other things in the world are more important, but I'm not putting any links in my description to highlight them, and I'm monetizing this video. Yes. And, while Tati at least monetized her video for charity, I said in the video I did on that she should have mentioned that at the beginning, because a lot of people got the wrong impression and they missed it, when she said it later. But I thought her mistake was with the placement of the fact that her video was monetized for charity. But I think in this case, yeah, it's so gross. It's so gross. And I really think either his lawyers or his PR team have let him down here. Or, again, he might, given the fact that there are so many jump cuts, so many things have been taken out, and the fact that he did not refilm it so that it could be a smooth delivery is concerning. To me, it makes it feel like it's lazy as hell. Like, okay, well, I just said what I said, and it's going to be fine. you know, like he's not, it doesn't seem to me like he's really trying to make an earnest good impression here. That's my take on it. Jeffree Star would be a nightmare as a client. And I know it'd be a ton of billable hours. You know, he's one of those clients where it's like, okay. Oh, I thought I heard somebody say, oh, well, you know, I remember it was in the movie The People versus Larry Flint, and Larry Flint's telling his lawyer who's trying to fire him, it's like, but I'm rich and I'm always in trouble. But again, this is the kind of client that drives us to drink. Yeah. Guys like this, the fact that he was too lazy to even refilm it after stuff had been cut out. The hell.
Been to jail. It's
Yeah.
been
Never been to jail.
hard to process a lot of
Okay,
what is
maybe,
being
maybe
said,
not, but you've said that you were in the
involving
past.
this situation, I would just like to say that James Charles, I'm very sorry.
For what?
Anything else that you guys want to know?
He's not gonna
it will
say,
never be
'cause his
spoken
lawyers
about.
won't
You
let
can
him.
ask other people.
Let him.
Just like last year, have fully removed myself. And did I get swept up into the bullshit again? Of course I did. And for that, I'm forever embarrassed of. Now,
Embarrassed by. The grammar hurts. The grammar burns. It burns. Okay, Cindy Liz says, why would he put any effort into it? He's angry he had to make it in the first place. Yeah, but if he's truly interested in protecting his, you know, if he's been truly reflecting on himself and truly wants to turn over a better leaf, then doesn't he owe his audience better? Oh, right, they're you know, he doesn't care about them except from extracting money from their wallets into his. Exactly, Cindy. That's all. He's angry he has to make this in the first place. He's angry that things are just glossing over like they have so many times before. He's angry that Morphe's, you know, got his stuff on clearance, which is hilarious. I'd almost be tempted to buy it, but nah. Okay, let's get back to this.
Breonna Taylor still has no justice.
Really?
Trans women are being murdered every day and the news
Uh-huh.
is silent.
Oh, you're
Election
outraged
claim
now. Really?
has no justice. And the countless other people who are murdered every single day while everyone just goes about their business. Like nothing's...
Okay. Most people call this whataboutism. The proper name for it is ad hominem. Well, you know, either label works. Well, what about what's going on with these other people? Why aren't we talking about this? Because this is about you and your bullshit. Oh, no, his lawyer certainly did not advise him to make this video. My suspicion is that probably his PR advised him to make the video. The lawyers probably then reviewed it and told him what to take out. But yeah, it's total deflection. The whole video is an exercise in deflection. And again, I really do recommend watching Sarah Jo Makeup's video about it. It's really good. And like I said, she's a professional actress, so she studies it as a character. And then at the end of the video, she does the monologue, you know, she does a monologue from the video, like as the character of this person. Like in this case, it would be as the character of Jeffree Star. Not as the person, but as the character, which it's really interesting to see. But yeah, no, his lawyers would never say, "Hey, you should make a video." Mm-mm. No, we don't want that. We want you to shut the hell up. But his lawyers would say, "Well, if you're gonna make a video, it comes through me first." You know, Tati's lawyers did it, and notice her statement was fairly well prepared. Again, I'd have cut out some stuff, and I'd have tweaked some of the editing. If I were her lawyer, I would have done that as part of the job to help her. And even as Jeffree's lawyer, I would have felt a responsibility to make this better, to maybe help him write the script. And yes, I would be charging my full hourly attorney rate, but it's like, look, we can make this better, and I can help you with that. It's not strictly lawyer stuff, but but I believe that I don't want you to further sabotage your case, so I would like to keep a pretty tight control on this. But yeah, no lawyer's going to tell him to make this. Hell no. If any lawyer told him to make this, oh no. Oh no.
It's happening.
But yeah, look at him. He is
I think
pissed.
that drama
I think you're right. I think he's
world,
pissed.
which I've definitely been a part of, it all has to stop. Now, 6 months ago, before COVID and everything hit our world, it was such a different place for all of us, and including myself. It's really time to reflect on the big picture. Now, Shane Dawson, he is one of my best friends.
Okay, yeah. So with COVID, it's such a different place that you've been seen with a fucking film crew in your freaking house during a freaking pandemic. Like, you can't just film and email the file to your freaking editor. Really? I mean, I know I'm in New York. We got hit first, and we probably shut down first. And truthfully, I started masking before it was mandatory. As soon as they closed the schools here, I started masking. And I know things have been more casual in California for a while longer. But a freaking film crew, or you're going out and taking photos with freaking fans without a mask. You irresponsible piece of shit.
And someone who helped me remember who I am when I was starting to crack and lose focus of who I really was. He's genuine, amazing, he is selfless, and he is one of the most kind people that I've ever met in my entire.
But yet I kept silent for weeks and didn't back him up, even when he was backing me up and taking all kinds of flack from the internet for doing it. But, over the course of a few weeks, I realized that if I throw him under the bus now, I'm going to look even worse. That's my suspicion.
Our world. I know that Shane would put his family and friends before himself in a flash. Now, did Shane and I get caught up in the drama and do some dumb shit? Of course we did. But that is my best friend, and I was actually truly shocked that people thought that I was going to distance myself from him or that my silence was anything but support. I know Shane from now. I don't know Shane from 10 years ago, and he doesn't know me from 10 years ago.
Okay. You were over 30. As is Shane. And while certainly, people over 30 are not immune to making mistakes. But there is a certain degree of maturity and control of impulses that would normally have you jump into doing stupid shit. Just saying, it looks like there's a real immaturity issue here. And I mean, I'm wondering how much of it is just his own personality and how much of it is his oddly rarefied position. I mean, we've all made mistakes, no matter how old we are, which is why a lot of people who are coming for Tati are like, oh gosh, she's almost 40. How can she believe this or fall for this? It's like, people can be manipulated at any age, yeah. But when you look at, what we're seeing and what the difference is between Tati's overall reputation and conduct over the years, like over the last, 10 years maybe? And Jeffree's is Tati had essentially no issues until Bye Sister. She had a long track record of being unproblematic. Then we have someone like Jeffree, who has a long track record of being virtually nothing but problematic. So, at least to me, that's why I felt like Tati's explanations made more sense than Jeffree's. For one thing, she was more specific on what she did wrong. Again, not quite enough. I would have tweaked it a bit. But also, oh, hi, Golden Coin. Oh, company showed up. Does that mean you're leaving us now? Thank you so much for coming in. You'll have to catch the replay for the rest. But yeah, I'm just feeling like this is, Jeffree's got some serious personality issues, and I have a hard time believing that he did any real level of self-reflection over the course of the last few weeks, especially as you look at how the video has been going so far. It doesn't speak of someone who's really, it doesn't give the impression of someone who's really been looking at themselves and regrets their conduct, and maybe they can't say everything because there are lawyers involved. That's not the read we're getting from this. And like I said, if any PR firm approved this, I would fire them. Only because I can't have them taken out and shot. This is terrible. Okay, let's continue. And I'm sure after his lawyers saw this, they probably went to the bar on his dime.
Now, do I agree with Shane's past actions? Of course I don't. And does he agree with my past behavior? Of course he doesn't. I know the amazing person that he is today. And you don't abandon your friends. I know a lot of people have said, Jeffree, you've had a lot of tumultuous friendships in the beauty world. Yes, I 100% have. But in reality, I have a lot of amazing, real people behind the scenes. And I'm forever grateful for those people who always remind me of who I am. Because lately, I definitely was slipping. No.
Oh, you mean like Tab, who saw that your conduct was so terrible, he finally had to break down and make his own video about it because he just couldn't take your bullshit anymore? That guy? Priscilla Nilla, hello, so nice to see you. Hey everybody, if you haven't checked each other out, please do. We're going to continue with this. But yeah, I think we've kind of seen how he's treated his friends. I mean, obviously not all of them. He probably does have some friends on the quiet, like Tab was fairly quiet, except she modeled in some promotional shoots, but even Tab couldn't take your bullshit anymore. How many of your other friends are getting real sick of your crap? Or do you just love bomb them with expensive gifts?
What me and Shane accomplished together, business-wise, I hope that inspires anyone out there that wants to start a business, that is an entrepreneur, or who is afraid to get off their feet. Because remember, I used to be homeless and work at the mall, and I really just said, you know what, I want to create my own vision, and that's what I did. And he has always believed.
Yeah, and then you blew up on MySpace and had a bit of a musical career, and then you had a pre-made audience when you came to YouTube, and then as the YouTube money started rolling in, then you started your businesses. You don't go just straight from one to the other. There was a path there, and he took it, and it worked for him. And likely his music career was certainly helped by touring with blood on the dance floor and not ratting out Davi Vanity's exploitation of minors. I'll try to keep the language advertiser friendly.
To me. All right, now, no matter what narrative anyone tries to spin of me, I am so fucking proud to own an inclusive makeup company.
Why are you talking about this now?
In 2014,
Okay, and this is the same issue I had with Tati's video. Why are you talking about your brand now? Why? This is not the time. This is not the place. Nobody wants to hear it. You need to be. No, you should have. This should have ended. This should have. This should not be. This should not be happening here. His PR firm should have slapped him across the face and told him to save it for another freaking video.
Created products for everyone. Any product, shade, or formula I've created has worked for any race, gender, and most importantly, I want you guys to remember that all beauty matters.
Yeah.
The very first ad.
Yeah, you're perfectly happy to take black people's money. We got it. Except from what I've seen from some of the black YouTubers I watch, a lot of your shadows are patchy, or not patchy, excuse me, ashy. That's the word, ashy. So if you really care about your black customers that much, why are your pale shades so ashy? And also, if you notice in his advertising, I haven't seen any plus size models, except possibly Lipstick Nick. Which is weird that a beauty guru winds up getting his makeup done so much, and usually by Lipstick Nick. What's up with that? Shouldn't he be doing his own damn makeup? I did my own makeup for my wedding. I mean, come on.
Of my company, I have always shown people of color and anyone, no matter what size your body are or what gender you are accepted in Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I know a lot of people try to deter from my message, and sometimes I've deterred it myself through negativity and drama.
Not deter, that's not the word. That's not the word you use. No, 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 no. No. Terrible.
But that won't be happening anymore. I will always use my platform and my voice for good. Now, I remember when brands were making 10 concealers and 15 foundation shades, and they thought that that was correct. I remember speaking up very loudly to my peers and other people in this industry saying that it was wrong. And I got...
Okay, now, truthfully, I was not in the beauty community. I was not on YouTube. I wasn't watching a lot of YouTube at that time. So I don't know when he started doing that. I thought that it was after Fenty Beauty released all of the, came out with a bang, releasing all those shades of foundation with their first release. If somebody, knows if he's done it earlier, let me know. I do remember watching his video on the Beauty Blender foundation, and he did criticize the shade range for that. I did see that. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of Jeffree Star, but once in a while, just so I kind of keep abreast of what's going on. But but wait, it gets better. Hang on.
A lot of shit for it, but I always stick up for what's right, and I always will. When huge corporations have stolen from small brands, I was the first one to speak up very loudly. Now, sometimes it can be misconstrued for drama or tea.
Now, truthfully, I do remember him very sharply criticizing Huda Beauty for copying Beauty Bakery's ad campaign. But then he's everybody copies everybody in this industry. But the controversy with that was more that Huda Beauty was so much of a bigger brand than Beauty Bakery. And, I agree, it was crappy, and I did see him call it out. I don't know if anybody else did. I wasn't paying that much attention, but that's fair.
Or being sarcastic, but the message was always that no, you have to do right in this industry. And that's what I'll always stand by. Now, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there.
Now, one issue with him saying that he was the first and the loudest to talk about foundation shades, did Jackie Ina fall off the face of the earth somehow? Because she was talking about it for years. Years and years. And at one point even Too Faced hired her to collaborate on foundation shades to expand their shade range. Which was a good move on their part, really. But yeah, this is completely glossing over what Jackie Ina was doing, and I don't think that was right. He could say I was the first, YouTuber over a certain number, of subscribers. He could say I was the first white YouTuber to, to start talking about this loudly. That he could have done, and possibly gotten by with, but to say it that way and completely gloss over what Jackie Ina had been doing for years, not okay.
Who has been supporting me, DMing me, messaging me, and just showing so much love. I know that sometimes it's not
Yes, we know
popular
your
to be a
stans
fan
love
of me,
you.
to be my friend, but it has been so much for all the ride or dies and the millions of people who have just been waiting for me to come back. Just know that it has been very important
Hi,
to
Stan.
actually
Send me your
self-reflect
money.
and not just grab my phone and say whatever I'm feeling in that moment. This has been me silent for a reason. I've been really, really working on myself.
Hi, Shadow
I
Matrix.
definitely was distracted. There's also been a lot of things going on in my personal life which will never be excuses, and I'm not going to talk about them today. But
Why? What does that have to do with any of this? Is anything that was going on in your personal life, and did any of that specifically lead to the circumstances that ended up in the behavior that you're supposedly apologizing for? But I haven't seen anything real here. And again, I know he can't specifically apologize for certain acts because of potential lawsuits. But then he needed to say so, and he needed to say so more than once during this, and bringing up world events, it was completely ad hominem. It was, and at this point, especially bringing up a lot of the social issues that are happening now, I think is just very ill placed in this video, in this context, in this setting. I mean, look, he's on a ridiculously expensive, fugly couch with his lavish home in the background.
just know that we're all human beings and we're all going through a lot. What is next? You guys know, Jeffree Star Cosmetics will never be slowing down. And
Why
I'm
is
so
this in this video?
excited for
Why?
everything that is coming for the
Why?
rest of 2020. I know that the makeup world is changing, the beauty community is shifting, and
I'm going to plug my beauty line in this video again, even though that is not what this is supposed to be about, and this is incredibly ill-placed and ill-timed, and just no.
COVID has transformed our entire
I had the same
world.
issue with
But
Tati,
what's coming next
putting her
is one of my
brand
most exciting
names in
projects
there.
ever, and I can't wait. August is going to be very exciting. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and listening to my words, and thank you for allowing me to have time to articulate my thoughts and not just upload a video out of emotions. I will be back very soon with new videos, new makeup tutorials, and of course, new products. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.
So this terrible half-assed BS statement is all I'm going to say about this, without even bothering to explain why I'm not saying more, and not even bothering to reshoot it because there are so many jump cuts from what's been taken out that it's somewhat jarring and everybody and their brother notices. I don't care to make the effort for that. You're just going to let this slide like you do every frickin' thing else I've ever done. There, finished it for him. And buy my new skincare line in August. No, thank you. No, thanks. I'm good. I have a whole bucket of skincare that does not have Jeffree Star's name on it. So, that's that for that video. What do you guys think? Are there some facts that you know that I'm missing? Is your opinion different from mine, or do you agree with me? Let me know. I'd love to see, if you're catching this on the replay, please catch me in the comments. And if you're here late and don't entirely know what we're talking about, please watch the replay, because there's a lot going on here. And we wound up talking about some other subjects before we got into Jeffree Star, because I couldn't hold this and do my makeup. And I felt like getting cute tonight. But I have been sitting here for nearly 3 hours. I think I'm going to call it good. Oh, why does Shane have so many subscribers? Oh, that is another video. Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably because he started early and he did edgy humor, but the edgy wound up going way too far in many videos. He's just been around for a long time. I really think that's it. He caught it early, which I wish I had, but I was kind of busy with an actual career at that point. Thank you, Shadow Matrix. I'd love that. Thank you. She's gonna catch the replay. Yes. But yes. For anybody who came on the replay, thank you so much for coming in. For everybody who came in the chat, thank you so much for coming in. I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks. It just, feces occur. Let's just put it that way. Feces occur. So I'm going to get going. Thank you all so much for watching, for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. If you have any spare time, feel free to run a playlist or 7. They're numbered. Because, YouTube is bugging, as BXB's boy says, and I don't know what's going on in the algorithm, but at this point, I've been monetized since April, and there's like maybe $50 in my YouTube account, so, I need some more videos played, some more commercials, like, let to play, so, if you have a device to, run at night, run a playlist, let it go, let it go, let it go. Give Amy so much time, let it go, let it go. Let the playlist just fly. 'Cause I don't know what YouTube is doing, but let the list play on. Because your girl needs money anyway. Exactly. Yeah. Cindy Lou Loves Glam 2 says, Teresa's Dead says it takes 30K views to make $80. Yeah, exactly. So, run some playlists. Help a sister out. It is my dream at this point that by the end of the year, I am really hoping to get a YouTube payment every month. To get a YouTube payment every month, I have to make $100. But before that, it just sits in your little YouTube account. They won't cut you a payment until you've earned $100. So my dream for the channel by the end of 2020, the freaking disaster that this is to have a monthly check that's like $100 a month from YouTube. That's what I'm hoping. Just to, and at this point, it's not even so much about the money. I mean, it kind of is, because, your girl's broke and, would like to spend more money on the channel. But also, but also to feel like I'm getting traction, because, if I can show growth and traction, then I may be able to do other things with the channel, maybe work with some brands or get some opportunities for PR, just to kind of further my little side hustle. So yes, please play some playlists, like stuff, subscribe to subscribe. Help me get that some traction in this algorithm. I would hugely appreciate it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get going because it's late. My ankles feel like watermelons, and I need to pee again. So thank you all so much for watching, supporting the channel. I truly appreciate it. And of course, full letter bye.